Hello everyone, this is Brother Benson Media. Today I'm glad to host a friend and a leader from Kisumu County. Let me take this opportunity to give her to introduce ourselves to our viewers. Thank you so much for your time.
This is Esther Raila, presenting Migosi Ward from Kisumu County, a leader and an entrepreneur as well.
Be as somebody who is a politician and also a business lady, we know we have cost of living is something that has been in our mouths for the longest time. What do you say about cost of living?
Hey, what I'll say is that the cost of living is so crazy right now. From the time of election, that is back in 2022 to now, I think it has doubled, and you find that families are not able to afford 3 meals. It's now becoming a luxury. So the situation is wanting, and we do wish to have avenues or maybe the president to lower the cost of living for fellow Kenyans and the common mwananchi. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Just again on the cost of living, we know that the president actually has levied so many taxes, but also when you come to the county levels also, the county government also has some levies on the county residents. And majority of the time we tend to focus so much on the national level but forget about the county. What do you say about that?
What I'd say is that the county government is even more corrupt. Like you cannot, if the county government, for example, they cannot even account for some of the funds that they've been given. So it's boiled down to the common citizen. It's so difficult for them to really rationalize the cost of living because even them, they cannot account for what has been in their docket. So it's not so easy. You find like for example, a business person, just a small business person who is supposed to do a tax of about maybe 7,000, it's now doubled to maybe around 12,000. So it's quite expensive. Yeah, very expensive.
Okay, so that one means like even the county government even making it more worse to the citizen.
Yeah, it's even more worse to the citizen than the national government.
This is something that we've seen in our area, especially in the Luo Nation. Just to give you like a few examples, one, in the funerals, we've always seen violence erupting of two leaders. Maybe want to know who is more superior than others. We've also seen them in our churches. As a leader, what is your take?
It's high time we have issue-based politics rather than in democratic politics. Yeah, people have different divergent opinions, and we should welcome each and every person way of reasoning. But then again, the buck stop with our leaders. The main problem is most of our leaders are not nurtured. They do not go to school of politics. Yeah. For example, myself, I wasn't nurtured into being a politician. I just woke up one day and I'm like, okay, I think I will do this. But if we found trainings, education to nurture more leaders, then they would know this is what is supposed to be done and this is not what's supposed to be done. It should be all inclusive, irrespective of the party that you are in, irrespective of the opinion that you have.
So when you take an example of whereby we are burying our loved ones and like you have been invited as a politician or you've invited yourself, and when you come, what we experience this violence whereby people want to fight, and the youths are the majority that are involved. Does that one require training as a leader?
Okay, our followers, I would say that they actually do what we do. Yeah. So if you are at a funeral, for instance, and you're given a chance to speak to the mourners or to the congregation, then you're not supposed to point fingers at your opponent. When you are a politician, you have people who love you and they want to follow you. Sometimes you don't even know they will be there. You find yourself in that kind of situation. But now, what do you do when you find yourself in that kind of a situation? You need to talk to your people. You need to quell their thirst of violence. You need to tell them we are in a funeral. This is what we came to do, and let us have peace, some form of decorum.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Again, on still democracy and violence, we've had issues, or we've had at times when maybe as a leader you feel like your opponent is not doing a good job and you criticize them in a very respectful way, but the response that comes, or the repayment for your criticism, is about hiring some goons to come and attack you. What should we do, or as a leader, what advice could you give such leaders with that kind of a mentality?
You see, politics, they say politics is a dirty game. Problem with, I would say, Kenyan politics, we are not mature enough. It is politics of emotions. Yeah? So people feel like it's tit for tat is a fair game. You go hard on me, I go hard on you, which should not be the case. So, but sometimes when you go hard on Esther, I might not be a hard person, I might not be an abusive or violent person, but emotions are triggered. And I do not condone violence in any sense, but then how well do you respond to that? Yeah? So the way I will respond is not the same way Brother Benson will respond. So people tend to respond differently when they are triggered, negatively or positively. So it all boils down to an individual. Yeah. So that's why I said we try our best to be more accommodative and mature. Yeah.
What we usually get in Kisumu after the election, or they went to violence, they go for demonstration and all that, we find that the majority of young people especially lose their lives, and after losing their lives, that becomes their end, and we don't see justice coming for them. As a leader who is in this area, who I think also have lost some of young people in the areas that you want to represent, what is your take on especially the justice of people that we've lost on the path of demonstration, especially with election violence?
Okay, what I would say that it's rather very sad losing young people during election time, but I think ways should be put into place so that a lot of education should be put in place for the youths, so that they know it doesn't have to take lives. You don't have to go to the street there as much as you're fighting for your rights, but which better ways do we deal with it? Because mostly it's the youth that get the most affected. They die, they don't have jobs, nobody comes to their rescue, and they are left with nothing. So we need to put in place a lot of sanitization and education before electoral process begins, and talk to our youths and be able to caution them on what the wrongs of political malpractices and what else can be done rather than just violence.
And this one I would want to bring to you about the NADCO report, because when you look at when people went for demonstration, the youths were the people who bared the majority of scars. But when the report came out, even when the committee was sitting, none of the youth was sitting in that committee to at least give the representation view of the youth. But when the report came out, there was nothing tangible that touches on the youths that were there, especially I can talk of the cost of living and maybe the justice for the youths. Do you feel as a country sometimes we use the youth to some extent, then when the benefits usually comes in, we tend to forget them?
Yeah, that is very true. During election time, the youths are always out there fighting for whoever they believe in to be a leader. But the fruits are enjoyed by the bigwigs and not the common mwananchi. So they are so left out in almost everything, all the good things that are there for them.
So as a leader, what kind of conversation do you usually have with the youths that you tend to share the aspiration and, you know, just to have that conversation and tell them, look, maybe this is the right way that we should have? What kind of conversation do you have with them when such like reports come out?
So when we have such like reports, as a leader, normally we have barazas, and you try talking the youth and telling them we need somebody, a like-minded person, one of our own, to represent us. And by doing this, we need to vote in a youth who has the same ideology and interest of you at heart. Yeah.
But because sometimes you find like you want to vote a youth and the same youth are the enemy of the youths. In such like cases, in such like scenario, what do we do, or what do you do?
You see, it's a very, I would say it's not easy really convincing the youths to vote for the youth. Reason is the financial muscle. You find most people my age who are vying for this political post, their financial muscle is not that strong. They are people that are just starting. So the big wigs come in and throw in money, and traditionally it has been there that money does everything here. Yeah, it's not about your ideologies, it's not about your manifestos, it's about handouts. So this is where we go wrong as the youth of this country.
Okay.
Yeah.
So handouts become like what determine you to vote for.
Yes.
Let's come about age. The Constitution has given the elaborate measurements on who should run, you know, and who should qualify to run for elective seat. But when we look at the Luo nation and other counties, we tend to see a big gap.
Yeah.
Like the majority of leaders in the elective post are not very young.
Yeah.
Their age, we respect them as compared to other counties. You find like other counties, for instance, we had a Bomet that surprises so many people by giving position to a young lady, unknown, somebody from unknown background. Actually, at the first, when she started, she was even ignored when she went to the party. And at the end of the day, the people decided to give her a chance to serve them, which is contrary to ours. What does that picture give you as a leader?
We are not ready for youthful leadership. That's what is my observation. Yeah, in 2022, so many youths came out in Nyanza region and vied for these political posts, various political posts, but very few got the post. Yeah, and this happened due to the party affiliations that we have. It's like, for instance, myself, I'm in a certain political party, I am a youth, but then I'll be told I should have been loyal to the party. For how long? How long? I just got here, you see? So it really set us back as youth leaders of this county. And would wish that the perception of youthful leadership and the old generation to at least allow us to lead and give us these spaces. May the field should be, we should have a leveled playground for all of us. Yeah.
Okay. Our first priority is not the people, but how can I get that party ticket so that I can win the election. So it's not the people first, it is the party. Then it makes it feel like they don't care about what the other people are going through, or what is it?
So I would say in Luo Nyanza, we still very backward because when you look at the political party affiliations, the party that is here, mostly they already have the leader that they want is already predetermined. Yeah. So you go in there and you have somebody in mind already, not somebody that the people want. Somebody that the electorate feels that this is the right person who can represent us. They are the parliament. This is the right person that can change this world, can change this county, can change this constituency. You see, that never happens. We're not given that chance to do so. But in the event that they pretend that we're given that chance, but the outcome is predetermined, so you see, it's not very easy to do.
Okay, now, does it mean that our people, or the people on the ground, excuse me, do not understand? If we can protest for general election, if we feel that there was malpractice in the general election, but when it comes to party primaries, whereby the favorites are the one that is chosen, that we don't want to protest, does it mean that we still do not, the majority of voters still do not understand what we call democracy? Because they protest.
Brother Benson, let me tell you something. It's not that they do not understand what democracy is. They understand. But the thing is, they are so loyal to that one person that I do not want to mention, that if he says we're going with Brother Benson, that's it. Game shot, that's it.
So why can't we protest and tell, like, okay, because this is our democratic right, this was not our choice, or this was not our favorite, and we can protest and get that person in.
I remember back in 2007, the then MP, Mheshimiwa Ouda, he was, he vied back at their home as an MCA.
Yes.
And he was almost being shortchanged.
Yes.
These guys protested and he got that seat.
We got that
if
seat.
that could happen across, then things would be much better.
Okay, let's come to what we call the issue-based politics. And this brings me to what I call right now is a sexualization of politics in our region. And the reason why I'm bringing what we call sexualization of politics in our region, there's this tendency whereby when the leaders go on podium, they tend to use sexual words to, I don't know, to attract the people, or I don't know what was the reason, but it's something that is very common. And they're not talking about the issue-based politics, that what we want to do for this country, or we want to do for a particular area where they are, but they will talk about all those. I think you've witnessed. As a leader, do you think we are headed in the right direction with that kind of politics, yet we also have the kids who are there listening and people would laugh?
But also we need to start right from the people who represent us. When you look at the parliament, it is so sexualized politics that when it boils down to the grassroots level. So it needs to start up there, and it needs to be condoned, so that when they speak and represent us, they talk of issue-based politics. They talk about the bills. They talk about developments. They talk about real change, real-time change to the common man, to the people they represent.
Do you think we're heading in the right direction as a community, as a country, or as a constituency, or as a ward?
No, we are not. We're not at all. But the sad reality is the people are customized to these kind of politics. It's what they have been brought up to. It's what they've seen severally, repeatedly. So you find a politician who is, if he's not somebody who is vulgar, is somebody who is a dancer, or is a poetic, and that's the sad reality. And the common mwananchi loves that. You get somebody who's ideological, and when you stand to speak about your ideologies, nobody wants to talk to you, nobody wants to listen. They will in fact boo you and all that kind of stuff. So we really have a long way to go when it comes to ideological based politics.
Do you see that respect of women is there as much as they say we respect women, but when it comes to politics, they tend to use the body parts of women to describe some of the things, you know, on how somebody is, and they will have to use as a woman when you are seated there. Even women themselves sometimes they use it. How do you feel as a woman?
I get so embarrassed and very disappointed in some of our women leaders, because they are the people who are supposed to champion for the women and stop this sexualization of politics, but they are the people who fuel it. So it's very embarrassing at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's then take a break from the politics. I know from politics you ventured into the business, and maybe share with us how it has been ever since you joined business. Profits and losses and challenges.
Well, business right now is crazy. Business is crazy. I do event management business. I have a company. I do outside catering, but I also do some kind of supplies with the reputable organizations in the county. But I would say that business is not a walk in the park. It is sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's down to zero. So I would say you hang in there. You don't give up, because it's not an option. So for now, we are just rebuilding. I'm rebuilding each and every day. Yes.
Okay, that's okay. But in terms of like the taxes that the president has levied on Kenyans, has it affected your business, and to what extent would you say?
Of course it has. It has affected my business. We're doing 16% tax on returns. And just recently the president said he will, by the end of his term, it will be up to 22%. So we are left wondering, where are we headed in business-wise? It's crazy.
Yeah. So when you... forget about the national government. Now you are now in Kisumu County, whereby you are doing your business. How is the environment, based on maybe the laws and the regulations that are put in place by the county government? Do you see yourself like making progress, or do you see yourself making profits based on how the county government is being run in terms of as somebody in the business community?
Now I'm making losses each and every day. Each and every day. So in terms of county government, I would say that the situation is not all that good for business.
Yeah, but I know like sometimes the county government or some other government usually have like funds or exemptions that they give the business community if maybe you have a conversation with the relevant authorities that are concerned with the business, and you go say like, okay, as a community right now we are not making that big business. Are there some exemptions or some tokens or some loans that are paying at a lower interest rate that the county government is offering?
We have loans for women, like the Kenya Women Fund. So we have loans. We also have the youth funds. So yeah, we benefit somehow.
But do you have the clientele, or the prices that you're giving are too high for people to
okay, so what I would say is that you know, in each and every business, you got your own clientele.
Yes.
And when change come, it takes time to adjust. So in order to keep up with your clientele, we have these after sales services that you give. Yeah, so for it to work for you. So if you have good clients, they will go with the change. If you have clients that cannot do with it, then it's just too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, because our hands are tied. There's nothing much you can do about it. But continue with the business.
Okay.
Yeah, we cannot close.
Okay, you said you're supplying maybe resources to some reputable companies. How is in terms of payment? How long maybe does they take to pay you? It is an instant payment.
No, I would say for the organization that I work with, they take a maximum of 3 weeks to 1.5. Ikenda sana, maybe just 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah, not so long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we are winding the show. What can you say in general, the leadership of Kisumu, and maybe if something to change, what would you pray that could be changed?
Okay, leadership of Kisumu so far, I think I love the way Governor Nyong'o has done his thing. And the only thing I would like to change is to have more youths representing us in the next coming assembly, so that our needs are catered for. And maybe to, when I look at the health sector, I would like it to have a total overhault.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Honorable Esther, thank you so much for coming to our show. Maybe your last words to the viewers and especially the people of Migosi Ward.
Okay. Okay, to the people of Migosi Ward, I'm watching you. I am here and we'll be back. We'll be back soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. If you're new in this channel, you can join us by subscription. And this is Brother Benson coming from Kisumu County, headed by His Excellency Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. May God bless you again. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.